Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about my upgrade from the Bontrager Montrose comp to the Bontrager Aeolus Pro carbon saddle. Not only is it a carbon saddle, one of the big things is it actually, it's a different saddle, so it has a different shape to it, and it's a lot lighter. It's, you save, I'll insert the amount of grams in the screen right here. And by saving that weight, it just saves weight from the overall entire bike, which people don't really, some people don't understand. So I'm a weight weenie. I care about weight because it's like, if you're paying the money for the stuff, don't you want the bike to be lighter? You want to ride a heavier bike? I mean, you can, but I think it's more fun to ride a lighter bike. So that's why I care about weight. I think weight matters. But the shape of the saddle is different. So the Bontrager Montrose was 138 mil, where the Bontrager Aeolus Pro, or any Aeolus for that matter, is 155 mil, which works way better for me just because I have a wider sit bone than 138 mil. So I just think it works way better because I measured my sit bones at my bike shop and everything, and I set it up properly. So it worked really, really well. So I'm filming this intro to the video here just because what happened last time was, first I want to apologize. The clip I'm going to show you, it's from a little bit, it's from a while ago. I just haven't had time to post this video, and I do now, so I'm really grateful to be doing that. So yeah, I'm going to be posting this video now. So I just want to film an intro to it because everything got screwed up because I was filming on my iPhone 12 Pro, and the problem with it is there was this bug where if you didn't fix it, it way overexposed the picture and everything. So I'm just reshooting this. I'm reshooting the introduction to it. Some of it actually worked out really well. I just shot with my Canon G7X. So that aspect of the footage worked out. So I'm just going to be filming the intro and the outro in this setting right here, just so it's easier for everyone. I just think it's an easier situation. And I want to apologize for the audio. In the winter, my father runs a dehumidifier, so it goes against the speaker in the basement and makes kind of this like really just obnoxious, I don't know, sounds like someone trying to yak something up, but that may be in the background, so if anyone's wondering, that is why. So yeah, I want to show you guys the video, and it also shows you how to install a carbon fiber, one of Trek's carbon fiber seat posts, whether you have, I think you can get the Arvada comp or the Montrose comp. It has a different oval shape to it. So I show you the adapter that I'm supposed to use, and I actually messed up in the adapter twice. I accidentally got the one for the Madone, but the one for the Emonda is different. So don't make that mistake. Don't get the one for the Madone. Get the one for the Emonda if you have an Emonda. We'll get the one from the Madone if you have the Madone, but you know what I mean. So I'm going to show you guys this video about it and the installation video as well, so enjoy. Okay, so I finally did get the right adapter here. This is 7 by 10. I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah, 7 by 10. It's really important to get the right adapter, and you want a little bit of carbon paste, like if you're putting together a carbon seat mast or something like that. You're just going to want a bit of paste to go against the rails here. Because carbon fiber on carbon fiber, you should have some paste for that, just for safety. You want a bit of lubrication in there. Doing a bit like that. We'll do a bit more on the other side too. Make sure we get a good coat, very good coat. That's what we want. It's important. Okay, so got some in here, some here. I got a little bag with a bit more in case we need more. Here's our bag. Here I'm gonna get my finger. Let's do a tab more. I'm gonna do them right at the contact point. I'll do some on the inside of the bike. So yeah, I'll do some here. That's what I meant to say. There are these little kind of slots where it makes contact. So just want to do a little little bit in there. And that's what you want. Just a good little layer. It doesn't need to be like insane. You don't gotta go nuts with it. Just want a little bit on these areas of the seat post right here. And same on the reverse side. Same on the other side. And it's not too bad. You just do that before you put it back together, because then you get that lubrication, which is something that you want. Alright, so I'm just lining it back up just to my measurements, just to be sure that everything's all good. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the other side. So that's just kind of resting there. Be careful if you're doing this, because you don't want it to fall on anything. Got a wood floor or anything like that. Alright, so this is going to go on this side. And this guy's going to go on the other side. This goes through here, which is what you want. Yeah, this is the screw from the original assembly. You're going to want that as well to put it in. And we're going to put it in here. And what I'm going to have to do next is we're going to have to torque this down. So you want a torque wrench of some sort, because you don't just want to go wrenching away at your carbon and something funny to happen. Alright, you got it screwed in. Just want to screw it in until it starts to become secure in relatively okay fashion. Alright, that's good. Now I gotta line up my measurements. I'm just double checking because we don't want to do this again. Here we're going to loosen it a little bit. I'm going to get a little bit closer to my measurements. Alright, sick. Now it's kind of right at my measurements, which is what we want. Tighten it up to, we're at 5 Newton meters right now. I think that should be good, personally. And how's that look? How's that look? I like that. Very attractive. And what we want to do next is we're going to clean up just a little bit, because a good job always looks like the mechanic was never there. You just want to make sure. Here, I got a spray bottle of soapy water. Spray it down. Sorry, this is turning into a Shimano Tech video. I'm not talking in a monotone voice. So those of you that work in the bike industry, hopefully you know what I'm talking about and are grateful for that. Just wiping the seat off. And down the seat mast over here. Just make sure there's nothing kind of gross on it. I'm not using isopropyl alcohol to clean this up. I'm just using, I use this spray bottle of soapy water for when I apply frame tape to my bike, which is actually what I'm going to do. I'm going to redo it for right under where my front wheel makes contact, because it peeled up a little bit, so I'm just going to end up doing a new layer there, which is, that's a nothing, that's fine. I've still got plenty of helicopter tape, so we're going to do that, which will be pretty sweet. And how are we looking? I think we're looking pretty good, personally. Awesome. This is what it looks like with it on. Sit on it. How's it look? I think it's pretty comfortable. I find it way more comfortable than the last one I had, the Montrose. It's just wider, and I just have wider sit bones, so it's way more comfortable. I love this. This is super nice. I think that the saddle looks really cool. I really like just how it looks on the bike and the shape of it, and I just think it's a really nice looking saddle. And another thing I like is the way it rides. Like, there are a lot of people out there that are skeptical of just, it's weird, they'll be skeptical of like carbon fiber anything, and they're like, oh well, then the frame's okay but this isn't, or you shouldn't be using a carbon fiber saddle if you're under or if you're over 170 pounds or something like that. Or like, I don't really understand that. I feel like people often cherry pick about that. I would honestly, like, keep in mind, I don't really study this stuff. I don't go into the mathematics behind that. But I know a lot of people, you know, desire to do that, and they have. And, you know, basically, I would just talk to people. If you're at a certain weight, like, you're probably not, well, here's the thing, if you're at a certain weight and you're starting out, the chances are you may not even be riding that type of saddle anyways. You know, I was able to get a discount on this particular saddle, so that's why I got it. That's why it was carbon fiber. I just thought it was a good deal, and I really like it. And, you know, I guess that's a whole other video, like if you should use carbon fiber this, carbon fiber that. Look, my frame's carbon fiber, and the Trek Emonda. By the way, whenever I see seat post, I technically mean seat mast, because that's the way the previous generation, I think the current one too, is designed, and I really like it. I feel like it just gives it a really forgiving, just nice muted ride in a good way, where you don't have too much of the harshness of the road. It kind of absorbs some of the vibrations of the road, which I really like when you compare it to something like an alloy bike, even if you're on very narrow 23 or 25 millimeter tires. Only try with 25 millimeter tires, keep that in mind. After a certain tire width, it starts not to matter as much. But I really do like the ride that it gives. Of course, like any saddle, you know, if you're in the wrong position, if you don't get out and move around a little bit, it'll be a bit uncomfortable. But having it to my correct sit bone width definitely helps me tremendously. So that's something I recommend all you do, whether you're a guy or girl. Go and measure your sit bones and make sure you get the corresponding size, just the one that's going to be right for you and the one that is correct for you, because that improves the experience, because you want to have something that fits you. So just having all that in mind, having the correct width, that's another aspect of this video I want to highlight. It's crucial. It's really important just to have the correct width and everything. If you're gonna be riding, like, you know, 100 miles or whatever, like, you don't want to do that and be uncomfortable. That's like, why would you do that special type of hell when you're biking? Biking's supposed to be something that's really good for you, you know? It's, you know, let your bicycle serve you. Don't serve the bicycle, let your bicycle serve you. But it's nice using a carbon saddle. Like I said, you save a few grams, and you know, it's not about, you know, even if you are overweight, you know, you'll get there. You'll get to that lean, you know, physique, or that, you know, physique where you're lean and muscular. You'll get to that. Don't discourage yourself. Just the fact that you're on a bike and you're trying to, like, lose the weight and, like, be healthy. Not even lose the weight, just be healthy and fit first of all, and then everything else just follows it. I think that's awesome. But don't be discouraged, because you're going to get there. And after disclaiming that, something that I'm really trying to point out is it's not the overall weight of you and the bike. I know people are like, oh, just lose a couple of kilograms or pounds off of yourself before the bike. But the thing is, it's and it's not even like the overall weight. It's more about the weight of the bike. Because think about it, that's a false premise. And I know this video is, I'm going off on a tangent on this, but I like talking about this stuff. So I know you guys will really care about my feelings, and, you know, you'll listen to what I have to say. So what I mean is, think about it this way: if you have a bicycle, alright, so let's say I weigh 140 pounds and I have a 50-pound bicycle, so it's 190 pounds. Then you have someone who weighs, let's say 170 pounds, and then they have a 20-pound bicycle. It's going to be a huge difference, because I'm trying to lug this, like, tank up a hill, and they're, you know, they may have, maybe that strength is in muscle mass, let's say that, and then their bike is really lightweight. So I just feel like that's a false premise for people trying to say that, because the overall weight of the bike does matter, and it's a sport equipment. You're not going to be like a piece of sport equipment, and you're not going to be like, oh well, since I'm 300 pounds, like I got to use a carbon fiber golf club. Since I'm like 120 pounds, I have to use a like a heavy steel or wooden golf club. Like it doesn't make sense. But I understand where people are coming from. They're like, oh, don't focus on the bike, focus on the fitness. I totally get it. That's what people are coming from. That's the area they're coming from when people say that. But yeah, the overall weight of the bike does matter. And you want to just feel like it handles well. Even with cars, just it really it contributes to the ride characteristics of the bike. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting a light bike. That's why people spend money on bikes. The more money you spend, generally the lighter it gets. I mean, not with this whole aero fad, but you know, I think it's fine. Or disc brakes are cool. We'll do another video about disc brakes. I actually, like, after using rim brakes, after using disc brakes, well, I should save it for the video. That's the next video I'll do. But yeah, that's what I mean. You just don't want to, you know, discourage yourself from wanting a lighter bike. And by having a carbon saddle, that helps you do that. That contributes to the bigger picture of the overall weight of the bike. It loses a few grams here and there. That's why, like, you know, some car companies, like, you know, I have a Mazda MX-5, the Miata, the street name of it, and they use a technique called the gram strategy. So they save a few grams here and there, you know, like in the windows below there they have holes, and then they add up to kilograms. So you end up saving more overall weight just here and there. And they're like, oh, what's a saddle gonna do? What's that? But it really all adds up to the bigger picture of the weight of the bike. So that is one of the things I think is really cool about having a carbon fiber saddle. It's just one of those ways you can save some weight. And, you know, some people may, you know, they may gear up in the comments to write something like, oh, well, you can save more weight from using latex tubes. Yes, but what if you use latex tubes and use a carbon saddle? You see what I mean? So then you add more of the bigger picture of just making the bike lighter. So that's one of the aspects I like about a carbon saddle. And maybe it's just a figment of my imagination. The ride quality of it's pretty good. I like it. I feel like maybe it'll make it like ever so slightly smoother, but carbon, just anything, what it does is, or I've found, or I guess you can't say anymore because they hydroform, especially Trek, they hydroform the aluminum, especially like on the Emonda ALR, to give you a specific ride quality. But let's pretend you just have some skinny, like skinny ass tires, right? There's this old guy at my bike shop I often talk about who's really cool. When I got in that Emonda, or one of the Emondas, it was a rim brake SL7 Di2, Ultegra Di2. And he's like, what was it? And he's like, butter. Butter, vegan butter, on our channel. It's very, very smooth ride. That's what carbon does, and that's what I love about carbon. You don't have to have some, the ISO speed on the Trek Domine, or the Future Shock on the Specialized Roubaix, for example, or if you even have the Cannondale Topstone with you know, actual, you know, suspension on it. You know, those are all design mechanisms to help you have a smoother ride. But I like it. You can just have the material from the start. Then you don't add extra weight. You don't add extra maintenance and extra complexity to the bike. It just, the ride character is so good. But I will try out more of those systems. I've tried the Future Shock and the IsoSpeed on the Domine, Future Shock and the Roubaix. Never tried the Topstone, but it's just gonna be so cool. I'm gonna try more of these things in depth, and you guys will see. I have a lot of surprises on the channel coming up, and I'm really excited about it. But yeah, overall, I really enjoy the carbon fiber saddle, the Aeolus Pro. It's their Aeolus series saddle, and the Aeolus, I've heard, you know, people in my bike shop, some people are like, oh, well, you know, we're working with this customer for a while, and you know, they tried out all kinds of saddles, they couldn't find one that fit, but they said the Aeolus was really comfortable. It's a lot like the Specialized Power, which I never did try, but I think that's what I would have gotten if I had gone the Specialized route, or if I had just, maybe the Aeolus never existed, I'd probably still get a Specialized Power even if I had a Trek. But yeah, I like that kind of just short nose, just wider saddle. I think that really works in my riding style. But saddles are awesome because you can always try out different shapes, and you know, Physique has a whole, you know, just ton of them. There are companies that just kind of work with saddles. You know, Bontrager is just, you know, Trek's finishing kit, so I'm using one of their saddles just because I happen to get a really good deal on one, so that worked out really well. But even if you were to get any of those, speaking of the saddle specifically, or if, you know, you get a deal on a specialized carbon saddle or something like that, because Specialized makes some really nice saddles, or just a deal on any saddle in general. Or even if you don't, if you like the carbon, go for it. Try it out too. Ask if you can test ride with it. I'm sure, you know, bike shops are there to help you. Don't look at them like, you know, they aren't. Like, even if they're busy, you know, you're a customer. Be like, hey, I want to try it. I want to see how this carbon saddle rides. I've never ridden a carbon saddle. I've never ridden one. Or see if you can find a friend with a carbon saddle that you can ride. That'd be really good. But I'm just so happy I can make this video for you guys and go more in depth on this topic. It's a really in-depth topic, and I think it deserves a lot of attention. So definitely let me know what you guys think in the comment section below of this topic, and if you use a carbon fiber saddle, or if you've used the Bontrager Aeolus saddle or the Montrose saddle in particular. I would love to know and see what you guys think of it. Maybe you could help some people in the comments figure out what saddle is right for them if you guys have a lot of experience on different saddles. But the mosquitoes coming out, and I gotta get going, but I love you guys, and stay vegan.